Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the digital asset investor, and there's just so much information that's kind of rolling out left and right now that I don't think this video will be too long. I've tried to cut these things down, but it's just right now, what's captured my attention right now is what's going on in Davos. And so what I wanted to do in this video towards the end is I wanted to show you what Ripple has been doing in Davos for the last few years, and because now is the year that they're talking about this finally having a great reset or whatever. And the people at the World Economic Forum, the people at this Davos, they're literally like giddy. It's like they're acting like my 8-year-old when I take him in a candy store right now. And I believe it's the culmination of a lot of groundwork that's been laid for years and years and years. And I want to show you some of that groundwork. Watch this. Okay, so first, I got this from Lisa Jo Key, and I want to show you a few pieces of news first. From Naveen Gupta, who I think he's still at Ripple. I'm pretty sure he's still at Ripple. It says remittances continue to surge in the UAE-India corridor despite the pandemic. Together, Lulu Exchange and Federal Bank have partnered through RippleNet Cloud to make the cross-border payments experience into India easier and more reliable. And this is their announcement. I'm not going to play the video because a lot of times they throw music over the top of these. Can't have that. I'll get copyright strikes. Riz XRP. Bank America execs lifts lid on Ripple partnership. And this is apparently from a podcast interview. Bank of America exec, this is on Yahoo Finance. Speaking on a podcast, BOA's Julie Harris discussing emerging payment options for business and how it can improve efficacy. It's not our platform or our capabilities. It's about you as a client and the infrastructure you have and the ability for us to integrate, whether that's with platforms and capabilities that we built or partnerships that we have with the likes of Ripple or Swift, she said. And then it goes on. These are fintechs that we're partnering with. They've come through all of our rigor and legal and compliance, and we're able to leverage our banking as a platform to deliver that to you. So they're kind of confirming there that they've got something going on with Ripple. Now, Ian Northing had put this out. SEC lawsuit against Ripple set for virtual pre-trial conference in February. So that the date is in late February. But Sir Gordon had replied and I guess gotten this from it. The order asks that the parties file a joint statement by February 15th outlining the arguments and legal basis for the case, potential motions, and the likelihood of settlement. And I don't know if they want a settlement, but I believe if they do want a settlement, that they'll likely get a settlement. I just don't know if that's what Ripple wants. So listen, so this is from Coin Percenter, and put this out. What's interesting about this video is this is Craig Wright. Craig Wright's the guy that claims he's Satoshi Nakamoto. And he's also the guy that's he's all for Bitcoin SV, I guess is his thing. But he's a really controversial figure. But in this clip, they're talking about him being affiliated with, or I'm assuming this guy, but an affiliation with SBI, which is a part owner in Ripple. Listen to this.
We have a project going on right now, actually, in Japan, our first major business deal with SBI Group, which is the major internet financial services conglomerate in Japan, has 8 crypto businesses. They're launching a major crypto exchange later this year. They're concerned about security, and we are helping them design and implement what we think will be the world's most secure new wallet system, implementing some of Craig's IP and the IP from our company into a design to allow them to operate in a way where this worry about what happens to your full private key, what if I lose it, there's ways to reconstruct it. There's ways for them to operate without ever holding your full private key, so that even if you hacked one of their servers, you can't get control to customer funds. That is a simplified way of saying we are working with others around the world to make crypto safer.
So anyway, that's not that big of a deal because SBI has their hands in everything. I just thought it was interesting because they mentioned SBI. If you hear nothing else today, I want you to hear this. Harvard, Yale, Brown, and University of Michigan endowments have been buying cryptocurrency for at least a year. Not have been buying ETFs that are companies in block. No, this is one of the lies that we've been told over the last few years. For a while, it was that, blockchain, but not Bitcoin. You know, that was the type thing we heard. We heard a lot of that kind of thing. But we've heard, we invest in the companies behind blockchain, but not the crypto itself. We were told this a lot, but here you have it. University endowments that backed blockchain VCs in 2018 were quietly buying crypto directly from Coinbase and other exchanges since mid-2019. In other words, as usual, we, the jacklegs in retail, were being lied to about what was going on. We were being told that it's all for money laundering and scary. And meanwhile, this is how the wealthy stay wealthy and get wealthier. Is they don't call it lying. They call it talking your book, or there's all kinds of different words. But look, if I've learned anything from doing this channel, here's what I've learned. If there's one thing I've learned, and that is the people that have the big money lie, and they lie very comfortably to send you one way while they go another way. The misdirection that I have seen by the wealthy of the wealthy to try to scare people is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, the lies that the wealthy are willing to tell to send. And the only way you can really rationalize it is the only way I can really think of it or make any sense of it is that the people that are the mega wealthy in this world, they spite all the rest of us. They look at us, look down on us, and we're the peasants or whatever, lower class, and they kind of see us that way. That's the only way it makes any sense. Because to lie the way I've seen some of them lie when they were doing one thing and saying a different thing is really unbelievable. It's not the way I'd teach my kids, I can promise you that. Now, moving along, Michael at VAL5 Links sent me this. Breaking FinCEN is opening the comment period for its counterparty collection rule for 60 days. It announced on Tuesday. Now, for those of you that are wondering what this rule, my understanding is this is the rule that let's say you had a Ledger Nano S. What they're trying to pass a law or a rule where if you had, say, a Ledger Nano S, Coinbase or an exchange would have to know exactly your full information, your name, phone, all your information before they could accept or let you send to one of those things. That's the way I understand what they're trying to do here. Doesn't surprise me. I figured they would do this at some point anyway. Which is why I've always told all of you out there, don't ever think that you're not going to be paying taxes on your crypto. Don't even begin to believe that even if it's a privacy coin, don't you even begin to believe that you're going to somehow get away with the not paying taxes or whatever. That's crazy. One way or another, they're going to get you. So you've got to be above board in what you do. XRP Crypto Wolf, Ripple is hiring a senior policy manager in the Asia Pacific region. Ripple's senior policy manager will develop and advocate for policy and regulation that promotes responsible innovation in the digital asset and cross-border payments space. All right. XRP Crypto Wolf Union Square Ventures expects to invest around 30% of its new $250 million fund into the crypto industry. It will include holding tokens directly as well as equity in early stage blockchain related projects. So once again, folks, now they're not trying to pretend that they're not. Now the VCs and everyone, the endowments, the VCs, they're saying, no, we're not just investing in blockchain companies. We're also investing in the tokens themselves. I've told you for 2 years that's either what they were doing or what they were going to do. And that's the truth of it, is that's exactly what they're not going to sit on the sidelines and watch these digital assets go up by hundreds of % while their investments go up by 2 and just sit there. It doesn't work like that. They see an opportunity just like you and I do. Sergeant Obi-Wan sent me this. This is from the guy Flare Community. He's the guy that's been doing all the videos on the different, on how you'll get your airdrop and all this. And now he's doing one on DFlare. Anyone holding Flare in a participating DFlare wallet exchange at the time of the Flare Finance snapshot 30 days after the launch of Flare Network will receive 100% of their DFlare allocation. He's got a video on this that you need to go and watch. Crypto Dim sent me this. Now, this is where I want to get into Davos. Right now, you've got the World Economic Forum Davos agenda going on. I'm going to play. This is from Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey right here.
Are we here to stay now with digital currencies as part of the financial ecosystem? I mean, there are definitely advocates strongly believing this and some on the opposite side. But has there been a turning point over the last 1 to 2 years? For instance, from COVID-19 or with the popularity of some cryptocurrencies, has sentiment turned a corner? For those of us who have been involved in technology for 7 years, we've seen sentiment ping pong back and forth. And where are we now with the thinking on how digital currency takes its place in the financial system? And I'd love to hear your perspective, not just on CBDCs, but on other forms of digital currencies. Governor Bailey, would you like to start us off?
Yes, thank you. And first of all, I think that the lessons of history are fascinating here. I think the answer to your question is, are we here to stay? Is for digital innovation and payments, yes. There's been huge innovation in payments in recent years, and rightly so, but we still have some very big gaps to fill. Cross-border remittances, cross-border payments being the obvious one, where the cost of making payments is too high.
Okay, so for those of you that have been paying attention, these people at the World Economic Forum, the IMF, this whole Davos agenda, the Davos is going on right now. You need to know, if you haven't been around, you need to know that Ripple has been working with these same people in Davos since 2016 and probably earlier than that. But I can show you some of the things that have happened since 2016 because you probably haven't seen them. It took a little looking around for me to even dig up some of these. The first one I want to show you is this. This is January 22nd of 2016. This is Chris Larson at Davos, the merging of the web, the physical web, and the value web. The first thing I want to show you that's interesting to me is who took the photo. MIT interviews Chris in Davos. Photo MIT. That would be the same MIT that did the digital currency initiative. Now, remember, I showed you how similar this digital currency initiative at MIT was to, it's done by the MIT Media Lab. This same logo is almost identical to the digital currency group. And remember, the digital currency group was one of the first investors in Ripple, has Larry Summers as an advisor, and also has Glenn Hutchins as on its board. Okay. Now, but here's what else the digital currency initiative has to do with. Remember that guy that's going to be the SEC chairman? His name would be Gary Gensler, and he is on this digital currency initiative at MIT. And, by pure coincidence, of course, MIT is the one taking the photos of Chris Larson in Davos. And here's what one of the things Chris Larson said when he was in Davos.
It has to happen.
Tell me about some of the regulation you think has to change in order for this to happen. What's stopping it at the moment?
Well, the big thing is just like when the internet started. Again, this is the internet of value. It's just like we went through 20 years ago. And I think, I remember a time when the internet was mostly labeled as bad.
And by the way, this is provided by Bank XRP. This guy's been adding Ripple videos since before anybody. I think you need to give him a subscribe. I'm not signed in by it, but I am subscribed to him, as I always say. Give him a subscribe for sure.
Is kind of a bad thing that probably had to be stopped. Mm-hmm. And it was unclear how regulators and government were going to go on it. And actually, there was a kind of key moment in 1997. Mm-hmm. President Clinton introduced the global framework for e-commerce. Mm-hmm. And here in Europe, the Bonn conference in 97, kind of a key moment when government decided this is a good thing and we need to get behind it and support it. That's kind of what you need with this Internet of Value. We're not there yet, but this notion, not just about specific laws, but about some kind of a global framework for financial technology and allowing.
I think it's interesting that he's calling for a global framework. and was not calling for an SEC framework.
Companies to sandbox, to experiment before.
Anyway, and I wanted to show you the end here. There, he's talking at Davos, but it's inside when he's speaking. Watch this.
Revolution. This is all about the
web. Hold on.
Listen up. About the fourth industrial revolution. This is all about the web merging together with the physical web, merging together with sort of the human web, if you will. I would add another one to that, and we would call that the Internet of Value. So think of, in terms of where we're going, of billions of devices, which are not only internet connected, but actually hold small amounts of value. So they can literally be economic actors themselves.
I'm not going to play you a bunch of this because I've played it before. You've all seen it. I just want to show you where Chris Larson was, and by the way, if you want to go back and watch this whole thing on Bank XRP's channel, listen to the words coming out of Chris Larson's mouth, because the words he's using are the same words that the people at Davos use. It's the same type words about climate change, about sustainability, and trust me, words mean things, folks. And it's not just him though, but first I wanted to show you this. This is Davos, Switzerland, 20th. This is the same thing, but it shows list of participants, technology pioneers. Chris Larson, Chief Executive Officer from Ripple. Then we had this from 2019 in Davos, Brad Garlinghouse, and he's on stage with none other than Glenn Hutchins. Glenn Hutchins from the Digital Currency Group.
That's kind of, I think, big point number one. Big point number two is that...
By the way, I think this was the year that Brad Garlinghouse was made fun of over his moon boots that he was wearing.
To your question, finally, is that IBM didn't become Microsoft, Microsoft didn't become Google, Google didn't become Amazon, neither one became Facebook, and none of them became Uber. In other words, the next revolution that occurs doesn't necessarily, might obsolete the companies that come before it, but it's all about inventing something new and different. That's a very different business and a very different opportunity set than what came before. So the incumbents aren't necessarily threatened. They're just not going to get there because they're not operating there. You know what I mean? That's kind of one. Two is the people that are most threatened by all this in the short term are the, as Edith was talking about, the financial services players that have not deposit taking and lending parts of their businesses, but all the things they get paid all these fees for. Payments, FX, custody, all those sort of things. So I think someone was talking about the cost of trust.
Yep.
All the things that we pay for to create trust in a transaction, being able to transaction in that have all these fees and are all these bridges, people on top of the gate taking a toll each time you go across, all those can be taken out by this technology. And those are the people that are most threatened by this, rather than the big tech companies.
I totally agree with this. And those are what we typically call these big money center banks. Citibank is actually the largest of all of them, and they represent about 13% of global liquidity management. They make about $8 billion a year in profits from those cross-border transactions.
This is not deposit taking and lending.
That's correct.
Is entirely different.
That is going to change. We can debate. I mean, Ripple's got a lot of momentum towards changing that. We can debate if Ripple will be successful. But as these guys have discussed, that will change because these technologies enable that to be reduced by even more than 99%. And it's going to come down to truly an internet. We have an internet of information. There will be an internet of value that allows value to move the way information moves today. Why can't I use email-like transactions to enable a penny to transact? That's where we're going, and this internet of value, I think, will change a lot of different industries.
Guys, we've got to wrap this up.
Okay, now that says up here 2019. I think that may have been 2020 because it's posted on January 12th, 2020. That may be a mistake on the 2019. But what also happened in January of 2020 at Davos was this. This is from XRParcade.com, one of the best websites for Ripple and XRP information. And as you go down here, this is World Economic Forum Davos in January 2020. The Wall Street Journal had hosted this event. And I just wanted to show you a couple of the tweets from this. This is from Brad Garlinghouse. Those who have the least pay the most. For immigrants, dramatically reducing the cost of remittances changes the ability for billions to participate in the financial system. That's from Brad Garlinghouse. Yeah, this is when they were making fun of his boots. Because I remember XRP, the Standard Productions, had put actual moon boots on his. And I remember Brad Garlinghouse like saying something about it because he was embarrassed maybe. And then Eric Van Miltenberg, he says, great fireside chat this evening with what WSJ Journal House. Interoperability of value networks will be solved in the next 10 years. We're here at Davos where climate change is a big topic. 1% of global energy consumption is Bitcoin mining. That is stunning. Running a validator on the XRP ledger is like running a light bulb. Then Monica Long says, we're victims of a broken global payments infrastructure. You could remodel the house, which Swift is doing, but you won't fundamentally fix the problem unless you re-architect the house from the ground up, which Ripple is doing. And then this says, from Ashish Burla, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. This is from Brad Garlinghouse quote. I'm bullish on Bitcoin as a store of value, but not for payments. You don't want to use Bitcoin at Starbucks because by the time you get your coffee, it'll be cold. Good point on why there won't be one crypto to rule them all. Then Ashish Burla says in the next 12 months, you'll see IPOs in the crypto. And this is a Brad Garlinghouse quote too. In the next 12 months, you'll see IPOs in the crypto blockchain space. We're not going to be the first and we're not going to be the last, but I expect us to be on the leading side. It's a natural evolution for our company. So these are some of the things that were going on, during those Davos. So my point is that Ripple's been to Davos. These are just a couple of the years that I'm aware of, but they were probably there more than that. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that Ripple has gone to Davos several times. And so when you see all these people giddy about this great reset, just know that Ripple has been in the game for quite a while. Thanks for listening.